As the 10th anniversary of the September 11th attacks approaches, people told us their stories and where they were and how they felt that day, and everyone had a story from that day. Watch as Daniel Frascsella, Chelsea Skrepnak, Kimberly Neizgoda, and Kristine Pruett tell their stories from September 11th.
I'm Daniel Frascsella. I'm from Hanover.
Okay, and where were you when you first heard of this?
I was in school at third period in second grade, and when I heard about it, I really know what was going on. Then I found out more about it, and I was upset.
So what were your immediate thoughts, when you first heard of it?
I was hoping that everyone would be all right and nothing went down, and then when I come home, I told my parents about it, and they told me some people died of it, and I was just, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was stupid for the people that hijacked it.
Has anything in your life changed as a result of the attacks?
When I found out that I didn't want to go to the military, and I'm hoping that I could go in the military one of these days. I show a lot more respect for people, and I know times are rough, but I just know I have to get through them.
Chelsea Skrepnak, Wilkes-Barre. I was at my aunt's house when I heard about it. I saw it on TV, and before it actually happened, a day before I was there, I went to see like a play in New York. So, and some of our friends were still there. They stayed an extra day. So as soon as I heard it, I just thought that maybe they were okay. Everything was okay.
Your immediate thoughts? Were you thinking about your friends?
Yeah, that's my first thought. We called them and made sure they were home and okay, and they ended up being okay.
And has anything in your life changed as a result of the 9/11 attacks?
Well, probably I definitely respected everybody there more and pray to God for all the people that died there.
I'm Kimberly Neizgoda. I'm from Lehman, Pennsylvania. I work at Wilkes University, and on 9/11 I was actually in Japan. I was teaching English abroad, and I was living in Kanazawa. I just finished a dinner party because they're 14 hours ahead of us. And I was cleaning up, and I turned on the TV, and I saw the planes hit the tower, and I was like, oh my God, what's this new action movie? I couldn't believe it. I thought it was an action movie, and then realization dawned, and my phone started ringing, and it was unbelievable. I mean, it was just being abroad, watching that happen was the scariest thing I've ever been through.
And what were your immediate thoughts?
The world's ending. How can this happen in New York City? It was awful. I mean, it was just really, really scary, and something like I've never seen before. I can't believe that's going to happen. Not here anyway. I mean, I've seen earthquakes and other things, but for someone to deliberately do that and try to kill people, it sucked.
And has anything in your life changed as a result of the attacks?
Whenever I go to New York City, I'm reminded of it. I still see the plane hitting, and I go back to being in my living room in Japan. I think I'm a lot more cautious. I'm a lot more suspicious than I used to be, but I try not to be. I mean, on the one hand, it makes me more suspicious, but the counter to that is trying to be more open. And, not everybody is evil, and it's so easy to think that way when you're scared.
Kristine Pruett from Dallas, Pennsylvania.
Well, where were you when you first heard the 9/11 attacks?
I was at work, actually. We heard about it kind of just through some random people calling into the office and saying, you might want to turn on your TV. We actually had a television set down in our office area that we all kind of flipped on, and it was pretty much right after the planes hit, but before the towers had come down. And it was complete shock. I just remember being very paralyzed, and I immediately went into the restroom and I cried. It was very emotional to think that something like that would happen here. It was sadness. It was more sadness. I don't really think I thought about the fear at those initial points because we really didn't know enough early on. It took some time for some of those details to kind of come out. And so afterwards, then when I really started to process the whole thing, then you start to think about the fear, and it's like, oh my goodness, how can this happen here? And what other places might they be targeting? And that's when the fear, I think, started to sit in for most of us. But my initial reactions were to pray. It was sadness and prayer, and that's immediately the posture that I kind of took for the rest of the day. It was a prayerful attitude that God protect this nation, protect our people. Probably the biggest thing that I've noticed as a change is the security at airports, and that's probably the thing that I have the strongest negative reaction to, because it's like, despite all of this need to pay attention and need to watch and be mindful of what terrorists and things might be doing. I have a real issue with all of the security measures that have been put in place, and it feels like a real violation of privacy.
See other videos of personal testimonials on timesleader.com.